Good afternoon and welcome to the latest edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host and presenter, Advocate Tulo Hoyani. This afternoon, I would like to look at Mjiyako, that so-called lawyer who claimed to have been representing Bongani Ntanzi. It is very interesting very important rather, to look into Mjiyako. Because Mjiyako is supposed to have represented Ntanzi at the time that Ntanzi appeared before a magistrate to make a confession. Ntanzi himself has vehemently denied that he ever, or any of his family ever, solicited the services of this advocate Mjiyako, and has vehemently denied that Mjiyako ever represented him in any legal proceedings. This is another dimension to the Mickey Mouse, character of this case. Even if there had been differences between Ntanzi and Mjiyako, why would Ntanzi totally disown Mjiyako? There can be differences between an advocate representing an accused person or a client, but at least, there's always an acknowledgement that, I got the services of this man, most probably he disappointed me or something. But an outright denial that, somebody ever represented you is also unprecedented and, sets out this Meyiwa trial in a class of its own. This is a first of its kind. And a lot of firsts are happening in this trial. So Ntanzi has always maintained that Mjiyako never represented him. But who is this advocate Mjiyako? Mjiyako is a former policeman. He's a former policeman. I understand he's an advocate now because he's on the role of advocates. He's been on the role of advocates since 2012, according to the records of the Legal Practice Council. But Mjiyako is no longer a policeman. He is no longer a policeman because he was discharged in 2016, dishonorably discharged. That is, a polite way of saying he was fired or expelled, or fired would be the appropriate word. After he was suspected of involvement in a robbery. Get me right. You see, I've always said this Mjiyako character is a dubious character. He was involved in a robbery. That is why he decided, to resign, probably, to preempt the inevitable. Because had he not resigned, he'd probably face disciplinary charges and so on and so forth. It is not very clear what happened to that robbery case. Because it would look like shortly after he tendered the resignation and was dishonorably discharged, nothing was ever heard of that robbery case. But this is a character that gets involved in robberies. Just this to be dismissed from the police service dishonorably. Who can trust this man? Why wouldn't you trust Ntanzi that Ntanzi says, I don't know this Mjiyako. I never made a confession. Interestingly too, Kininda said he does not know Mjiyako. Kininda told the court that I do not know Mjiyako. Why would somebody in the position of Gininda, the self-styled lead investigator, not know Mjiyako? Anyway, there you have it. The only person who says he knew or saw Mjiyako in and around the magistrate's court when Ntanzi was supposed to be making that confession is one Mohane. I forget the rank now. One Mohane, one policeman Mohane. But chances are there were a lot of manipulations in this case. Here we have this dubious character called Mjiyako. I don't understand for one moment why, if this Mjiyako actually represented Ntanzi, why the prosecution, in the light of the fact that Ntanzi was disputing that Mjiyako ever represented him. Why did the prosecution not call Mjiyako before this court just to verify this relationship? Why did they not do that? You have an accused person who's supposed to have made a confession that implicated all the other accused persons in the commission of this crime. Right? This person disputes ever making this confession. You maintain that one advocate, Mjiyako, was his lawyer. And in the light or in the face of that, in the light of the fact that, the accused person disputes that he ever, solicited or for the services of this person, Mjiyako, why would you call Mjiyako to come forward, to come and clear up his name, to clear up the air, to say, Mjiyako, come before court and, tell the court what role you played in this confession? Was this confession freely and voluntarily made? Where was it made? Before which magistrate? And so on. So that Ntanzi can get to cross-examine, or Ntanzi's lawyers can get to, cross-examine Mjiyako and get to the bottom of this, who this Mjiyako is, as a way of attacking that confession. You see, it has always been disputed by Ntanzi that he ever made a confession, or that even if he did make a confession, it was never freely and voluntarily made, right? So, it would have been most appropriate to call Mjiyako, because Mjiyako was providing all the legal advice supposedly for Ntanzi, and probably, advising Ntanzi to confess. But now Ntanzi rubbishes the man and says, I don't even know him. My family doesn't even know him. Why wouldn't you get this man come forward? My own view is that this business of Mjiyako ever acting for Ntanzi as his, advocate or lawyer is a fiction. It's a fiction. Much as the court record somewhere might reflect this as having happened, but the reality of it is it's a fiction. It's a fiction. I don't think Mjiyako ever represented Ntanzi. Anyway, this is the Meyiwa trial. Every time you look at aspects of the evidence and go deeper and deeper, something just surfaces, which is unusual and so peculiar to this trial, which is so peculiar to this investigation. I really feel for Meyiwa. I have never seen a trial with so many twists and turns and so many, so many underhand tactics being employed, and so many controversies and so much noise surrounding it in terms of who is the person who killed Meyiwa. Don't want to get into the, many talkers this morning. But having said that, let me thank you for watching this video. I'm very impressed by the way the subscriptions are coming in, and the views are also coming in a very satisfactory manner. Don't skip the adverts. They keep the home fires burning. Thank you and have a nice evening.